Hello, mamas, and welcome back to the Awakened Mother Show. I'm your host, Isabelle Bridges, and today I have the great pleasure of being joined by Crystal Lacy. Crystal, welcome to the conversation. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks
Crystal and I, oh my gosh, I am so excited about this conversation because Crystal's going to talk to us about the importance of relationship and how that can inform how we live. So it's something that I also feel very passionate about, that connection with other people. So I'm so excited to hear your expertise on this, Crystal. And before we do, I would love to also hear a little bit about just who you are, how you serve your clients, and then something personal about where you find yourself maybe on your motherhood path, including, in relationship to those around you.
So I am a life and relationship coach. My background is in psychology. I decided to specialize in coaching after just helping some people that were very close to me. I decided that's where I really wanted to plant my seed. My boys are grown now. So that's where I'm at in my motherhood journey. My boys are 23, 21 and 18. And so they are grown. So I've been through everything from when they were babies to toddlers, preschool, growing up through school. And my youngest is graduating high school this year. So, yeah. So they're little men now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So do you feel yourself moving into a new phase of your journey? Do you feel like you're in a transitional period?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, definitely.
And just out of curiosity, how is that? How is that for you? I am not there yet. My oldest is 10, so.
It's different. I feel like I'm definitely advising them on different things now. They're adults, and so some things are still the same. I feel like they're still children in ways. Some things never change with your kids, especially boys, I feel like. But at the same time, I counsel them on being adults. You're an adult now. You're a man now. This is where you're going, and these are your responsibilities. So it's interesting to see your children become adults.
And it's probably a different way of being a parent. You never stop being a parent, right? It's not like they graduate from high school and then all of a sudden your job is over. It's just different, right?
Yes, you still have worries. They're just different concerns.
Yeah. So I'm curious, how are your relationships with other women maybe the same or different now that your children are kind of flying the coop compared to when they were littler?
Definitely. A lot of my friends have kids that are about the same age. Some of my friends have kids that are a little bit younger. So I do have friends that will ask me a lot of questions like, how was it for you when your kids were this age, when they were younger? And did they do the same things? Like, how did you approach this? Like, did they do these things? And so it's interesting to be able to hear that, and like, how did you get through that? Like, what did you do? And so it's neat to be able to say, hey, these things come, these things go, you'll get through it. Because I remember thinking at that age, wow, like, I don't know how I'm ever going to get through this. Like, it seems like it will never end, but those things do go. They do have a way of working themselves out. So it's interesting to see that. And some of the friends that I have that have kids that are the same age, seeing their kids go through the same things, and your friends going through the same things that you are. So it's neat.
Yeah. So there's a topic that's pretty big in this community, and that is boundaries. saying no to our kids, saying no to people wanting us to spend time on their projects, sometimes even saying no to ourselves. Can you tell me a little bit about your process around that word no?
This is something that is a very, very big one for coaches, and a very, very hard lesson for everyone, but for moms especially, because we want to say yes to everything. And I think that we often feel that it's our duty to do everything, and we have that very nurturing instinct. So we feel like we have to take care of everyone. And so we say yes. We feel like we have to say yes. But it gets us in trouble a lot. It takes a toll on us, and our well-being. Over time, it begins to kind of take pieces of us, and we don't realize kind of what's happening until it has an impact on us. And those things kind of manifest in different ways. They can manifest.
One second. I can see that I'm getting an opportunity to practice this.
Sure.
Gracie, I'm on the call right now. Okay, well, I'll help you with that when I'm finished. Maybe you can find something else to do. Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay, I'm back.
Totally understand.
It's hard, especially when we have all these differing needs around us.
Mm-hmm.
And we care about, I care about my daughter's need to get on her iPad. And then when that need is in conflict with my need to be here and present with you, managing those two different needs and having to say no to one of them, either my need or her need. How do you advise one to kind of navigate those, that challenge?
It's difficult. And I believe that, first of all, your family has to know what your boundaries are. They have to know, okay, this is my time and my times are this. And these are my boundaries. These are my times. This is my work. And I want to know equally what your times and your important things are. And I will let you know when my times and my boundaries are. And when I cross those and you cross mine, this is my way of letting you know. And this is, you can let me know as well. But definitely those things have to be clear, or we will lose our minds. But those things can manifest in so many ways. And I battled with that for a long time, and we could stuff it, and it can come out as anger, anxiety. For some people, it's withdrawal, depression. And we just deal with it. We don't tell anyone sometimes. And it's really important to have those, those boundaries. So it's hard, but, people get upset with us, and then we feel selfish, and it's really hard. But the more we practice saying no, the easier it becomes, and people may get mad. People may get mad at us. And if they're your friend, or if they're your child, your husband, and they love you, they'll get over it. My kids, they get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've learned really quickly, like, mom's doing her thing, like, I'm gonna have to wait, and a lot of times they have learned from me, like, it's just a not right now. So, but it took a while, but they learn those things. It's hard.
So I appreciate this piece around clarity. It seems like first being clear with ourselves. So what is the need? so I speak to women all day long who tell me, I don't even know what I need because I'm so used to being so tuned into what other people need, my friends, my family, my dog, that I don't even realize, oh, I have a need until like you said, something breaks, like I start losing my mind or I get sick or, I'm depressed, something like that. So getting that clarity within the self seems like it's the first step.
Definitely.
And then talk to me about self-care. What, in your mind, what is self-care?
So self-care is, I think that is important. A lot of women, it's a word that's thrown around so much. There's 18 million hashtags self-care on Instagram. And it's because it's so played down now. For women, it's so important, but a lot of us, we don't really even know, self-care, we need to do that, but we don't even know what it is. Some of us don't really know, what does that mean for us? Well, it's simply tending to certain genres of our lives, our spiritual well-being, our mental well-being, physical, all of those things. So we don't even know what we like sometimes because we're so busy taking care of everyone else. Well, what would you like to do? I don't even know what I would like to do today because I'm too busy doing everything else. So for self-care, it looks different for everyone. When was the last time you took a 30-minute hot bath without someone bothering you or, banging on the door, get out of there? Without interruption.
The bath is such a good example because I could be a professional bather. I love what I call bathing. It's different than just getting clean, right? Sitting in hot, yummy smelling water is like my idea of heaven. And I have a friend who thinks it's not only not a good time, but disgusting. I don't want to sit in a tub. It feels dirty and she just hates it. So it's like you said, self-care is going to look so different for all of us.
Yes. Some people love getting their nails done. I like that sometimes, but it's not a huge thing for me. Some people love going out and going for a run. I'm like, to me, that's like work.
Yep.
But going for a road trip, like just getting out and going driving somewhere. I love driving in my car by myself. There's no one there. It's quiet, listening to my own music. Just going somewhere by yourself, sitting on the porch swing and listening to music, like just doing something for yourself that nobody else gets to be a part of. It's just for you, taking care of yourself, because no one does that for us,
right?
Obviously, like no one's, and it's not that they don't care about us. It's just that they have other things to do and we have to take care of ourselves. So,
yeah. And then there's this other piece, which we talked a little bit about, which is the relationship. So how does self-care kind of interplay with our relationships with others, specifically with other women, like friendships or sisterhood?
So that is a big one. I truly am a huge believer of life being centered around relationships. For women especially, we kind of hone in on that. When we become older, we lose that kind of feminine relationship. A lot of us do. And it's really important for us. Research has actually shown that female species, when we are kind of in any kind of crisis, that we seek that support from other females and even humans, but every kind of species. But men don't do that as much. Obviously, it's more feminine, but we seek that from females, and we seek that bond and that support. It makes us feel better. So it's really important for us. We actually are more happy, and we feel better. We have better health when we are around other females. So not only are we happier and more joyous when we spend time with our girlfriends, but we have longer lives. There's research that's proven that. It's been shown that if we reside close to one of our female friends, that we are happier. Same goes for like neighbors, siblings, and our spouses, but female friends are like at the top of the list. And so that's definitely one of the things that, I mean, a lot of us don't think about how important that is to spend time with our female friends, and we get so busy, like we put it at the bottom of the list, or we make excuses like we don't have time, to spend time with our friends, but we need to make time for it. And that should absolutely be a part of our self-care routine, self-love, because it's really important.
So every once in a while, I just hear from one of our audience members. And right now I'm hearing this woman say, I know, Crystal, I know the importance of having friends, but how do I make friends? I'm so lonely. I feel like I don't have any friends. How can she start to kind of create those relationships?
It's funny that you said that, because I don't have a lot of female friends either. I have like one or two. Growing up, I was always more friends with like guys. Yep. But just going out and being with people, you meet more people. Putting yourself around people, you will meet more people. Putting yourself in groups, online groups, you'll meet more people. Groups like your group, you'll meet more people. You'll have more online discussions and things like that. And you can meet up with people outside of online groups. And that's how you make friends, you make more friends, but you have to put out the effort and not make excuses, because I'm bad about that too. Like, I don't have time. We all have the same amount of hours in our day.
Yep. Yeah. So we all have the same 24 hours in our day. So then moving back into self-care, are most women these days, like, just lay it out for us, are most women practicing self-care?
No, I don't believe that they are.
So I think, and social media can make it seem like everyone else has all these friends. Everyone else is on vacation all the time. Everyone else takes such good care of their home and their partners, and, and yet what you're telling me is that's just not true.
Right. We tend to put ourselves last. I think society often tells us to put ourselves last. A lot of times we're raised seeing our mothers put themselves last. Yeah. We put our children first because we think that's the right thing to do. But that's actually really horrible too, because then our children grow up thinking that's the right thing to do, and they're going to learn to put themselves last. The best thing we can do is to take care of ourselves and let our children see that that's the right thing to do, because then they're going to grow up thinking that's the right thing to do. We don't want our children putting themselves last growing up.
Yeah.
A lot of women, this is actually mind-blowing, will even put their pets above themselves.
Yeah.
So that's really bad.
Yeah.
But we do sometimes. So I think that we should all think about that. We should definitely put ourselves before our pets.
I mean, this is my personal mission. I've made this my life purpose, right? is to, I have a stake in the ground around this, Crystal. It's like, no, how dare we women keep putting ourselves last? This is our time. I feel like this is the rising tide lifts all ships, right? So when mom is doing well, not only does her family do better, but then her friends, the ripple out of that is so profound. So self-care is not just self-care. Self-care is like, we're caring for all of us when we're caring for ourselves too. Do you find that to be true?
Absolutely. We have to raise awareness about it and to let people know, because it's the right thing, and too many women are not taking care of themselves, and that's why this is happening. People just think that it's the right thing to do, and it's not. It's self-care, and that's why it's so big out there and you're hearing so much about it, is because we're trying to raise awareness, and because not enough women are doing it, and it's got to happen.
So there's a lot of talk right now around work-life balance. What are your thoughts on that as a concept even?
I'm a big mediator for work-life balance, and it doesn't matter if you're a working mom, a full-time working mom, part-time working mom, a stay-at-home mom, it's all the same. People think that it's really hard to do, and it is really hard to do, but it's not impossible. It's something that you have to work at, but you have to work at it. It's something that's really important to keep in touch with, because you get one out of balance and something else falls apart. You can be really focused on work and your family falls apart. So it's not impossible, but you really have to have a plan in place. I'm a big believer of work 8, sleep 8, play 8.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can do that and kind of keep that kind of easy plan in your head, and that's not every day. I mean, for me, sometimes it's, work 10, sleep 6, but more play on the weekend. It's different for everyone. Yeah. But if you can kind of keep the 8-8-8 in your mind, just keep some kind of balance. When you feel like something is off or something's not right, it's usually not, and you have to really kind of reassess what's going on, because something will suffer because of it. If something's not right, your kids will suffer, your relationship will suffer, or your work will suffer, one of the three.
You just want to repeat what you just said, because it's profound. If something isn't working in your life, so audience, women watching, you may even want to just close your eyes and maybe place your hand on your heart. Like, if something isn't working in your life, reassess, right? Like, you're worthy of that reassessment. That reassessment can be the self-care, right? Because so many of us are just like powering through. It's like, it's not working, so I'm just going to work harder. And so what you're saying is pause, don't work harder, reassess, because not everything doesn't have to be so hard. Sometimes things are just hard and we, ride the wave, but sometimes we make them harder than they have to be. Or I'll just raise my own hand. Sometimes I make things harder than they have to be. So I'm really taking that wisdom in of like, okay, sweetheart, where can we reassess? Where do we not have to do the same thing over and over and over?
Mm-hmm. I've always told my boys, if you don't like the way something is going or the way things are going, you have to change something you're doing.
Yeah. It's simple, but to be reminded of that simple concept can be profound.
Right.
Crystal, you have a gift for our audience. Tell us a little bit about what that gift is. You're like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Isabelle.
What is this gift you speak of?
Okay. Well, I have invited all of our experts to share a gift. So maybe you and I can talk about that outside after. If that's not ringing a bell.
Yeah. So the gift of my freebie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the gift is my tools for a healthy self relationship, and it can be found on my website.
And we'll have the link to that on this page as well.
Mm-hmm. It's really helpful. It's something you can print out. It's even been good for me. I've had people print it out. It's a good self reminder.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, Crystal, this is the question that I ask all of my interviewees, and that is, what is a vivid dream that is awake inside of you right now?
Something that is awake inside of me right now is just to be more self-aware. I have a lot of dreams, and that's just something that I'm really focused on for myself. And it's something that I hope for every woman out there. We're so focused on so many other things out there. There's a lot of things that I want to do in life, and to make everything happen that I want to happen, I need to be self-aware. And so that's just something that I'm really focusing on, that's very small, to make my big dreams happen.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thanks again for being here, Crystal. I look forward to our future connection. And bye, mamas. Take care of yourselves.